If you want to duplicate text or objects on every page, you don't have to do it to every page. For example, I may want to see certain text appear at the head of every page and at the foot of every page, and I don't want to go to each page and type it manually. I might have a logo that I also want to appear on every page. Anything that's common to every page should be put into the master. Now the master page can be viewed by going to the View tab in the ribbon, and in the Views group choose Master Page, and you'll be taken to the master. And it looks quite different. You're now in the background as opposed to the foreground. Now the shortcut key for moving in and out of the master is Control M for master. So if I press Control M, I go out of the master, and if I press Control M again, I go back to the master. What I might like to do is add a header or a footer, and on my Master Page tab in the ribbon I have a button called Show Header/Footer. When I click this, it shows me the header, and I'm able to put text or anything in here that appears at the head of every page. If I click the button again, Show Header/Footer, I'm taken to the footer, and again I'm taken to the header, so it moves up and down between the header and the footer. Now at the head of every page I'd like to see some text. So in the header I just type the text I want to see. Brochure, publication. And I can format the text to look any way I want. So I'm just going to press Shift Home to select the text, and I'm going to go to the Home tab in my ribbon, and I'll choose the font Arial, and I might shrink it down to say 8 points and make it bold. If I go back to my Master Page tab in the ribbon, I can add further details. For example, I might click at the end of Brochure Publication, the text, and press the Tab key. The Tab key will take me to a centered tab, which I can see here on my ruler, and I can put something at the center head of every page. And if I press the Tab key again, I'll be taken to the right tab, or the right end of my header. Here I'd like to see the date. So up in my Master Page tab in the ribbon, I can choose the Insert Date button. If I click this, it puts today's date in. I might then press the space bar and click the button Insert Time, and then I know exactly how current this particular publication is. If I click Close Master Page or press Control M, I'll be taken back to my publication in the foreground, and here's my header at the top of page 2, also at the top of page 1, and at the top of page 3. So the master page is where you go to insert something into the header and footer that you want to appear on every page. I'm going to press the key combination Control M to go back to the master page, because I'd now like to put something in the footer. So I'm going to click the Show Header/Footer button until I get down to the footer. At the foot of every page I'd like to see the page number, and I'd like this to be centered. So I'm going to press the Tab key to go to the center foot of my page, and I'm going to insert page number. What it shows me is a hash sign, and that is it can't really show you the number because it doesn't know what number to show you when you're sitting in the master page. But the page numbers will show when we go out of the master. Now in front of the hash sign, I'm just going to type the text page and press the space bar. So effectively I'll end up with page 1, page 2, page 3. And if I close the master page, what I can see at the foot of page 3 is page 3, page 2 at the foot of page 2, and page 1 at the foot of page 1. If I wanted to insert pictures and or perhaps a watermark, I'd do that also in the master. Let me go back to say page 2, and I'm just going to click the button in the far bottom right of my screen called Show Whole Page, so I can see the whole page. What I'd like to do is add a watermark. A watermark is typically something that's very faint and goes through your document on every page saying confidential or draft or property of. So let's press Control M to go back to the master. If I want to insert a watermark, I then go to the Insert tab in the ribbon and I choose Word Art. I want to choose something really faint, so I might go for this option. And I'll type draft. I'll change the font to perhaps Arial and not bold. And OK. And here it is here. I can now stretch it and resize it. And I can also rotate it with this green Arial. Let's see how this looks on the document. So I'll press Ctrl M to get out of the master. And there I can see my watermark going through my document on page 2. The only trouble with watermarks is you have to make sure that nothing else in the foreground of the document competes with the watermark. So I've strategically placed it here. But I know that when I go to page 3, I'm going to struggle to see it because it's behind some fairly solid colours. And back to page 2. If I want to go back to the master, I'll press Ctrl M. I might delete the watermark just by clicking on it and pressing the delete key. And if I wanted to insert a picture, perhaps it was a logo, I'd simply go to the Insert tab in the ribbon, click on the button Picture, which appears in the Illustrations group, and then choose my picture. And I might choose my logo. I'll simply resize it and put it maybe in the bottom of my page, or maybe actually in the top, so you can move it and size it and position it somewhere useful. Now what it's doing is it's actually pushing my text away, so I need to go to the Wrap Text button, and I'll probably put it top and bottom. Now when I press Ctrl M and return to my document, what I've got effectively is my logo at the top of every page, but again we've got a situation where we may have to juggle with things on the foreground to get them to sit nicely with the background.